Welcome to the Insurance Brokers Podcast, Helpful Hints. Here we break down the best, most informative bits of our full-length interviews.
Yeah, I was just going to ask before we go into Brexit, what's sort of driven your growth in that 7.5 years, Andrew? I mean, it's a great base to bring a book, but how do you start from there to build a business?
Good question. I mean, I think we were lucky enough to have plenty of relationships that existed already that we were able to maintain. So that was obviously a good start to the book. But predominantly, it's been we've identified a few niche areas of business that we've branched into. One example of that is wine. We insure a lot of wine for people who collect and store and use it as an investment, together with wine traders. And that kind of instigated from a long-standing client of ours who was a bonded warehouse keeper, and ended up we did a deal with them, and they introduced us to various of their clients. So that's a sort of an example of a niche area that we tried to develop, and that's grown quite well in the last 3 or 4 years. Other than that, I think our growth has been broadly organic through the classic word of mouth, referrals, recommendations. We have got a few people that have joined us with books of business that they had, where they felt the time was right to move on. We have felt that there's been a kind of a move in the London market in particular, with individuals kind of feeling a bit disaffected with a large broker environment and probably preferring to, maybe try their luck in a smaller, medium-sized London broker, Lloyd's broker. So we've benefited a bit from that. And then generally, as I say, just the organic stuff.
I mean, that's probably the way most brokers grow in some ways. Do you do it proactively, or you have relationships and things just happen, or do you consciously ask for a referral at every meeting and that kind of thing?
I think that's been something that we've been probably a little bit benign on. I mean, I think, that's probably benign, maybe not the right word, but we've probably not been as proactive on that, driving a strategy, if you like, for new business as we could have done. And that's been something that we've grappled with in recent times. I mean, the last year, with obviously the pandemic and the disruption and the working from home, things have been much more focused about defending and retaining and keeping the renewal book going, because new business opportunities have been stifled a little bit in that period. But generally, we've tried to look at niche opportunities and push those through. We've had some success. But I think generally, and this may be the case with many independent brokers, we've probably needed to have more of a clear-cut strategy for that. And I think, whilst we've grown well, we've certainly grown satisfactorily, we're looking at that as something we need to perhaps adopt a more structured and strategic approach to.